Well, the time has arrived, and the time for the great debate, Showdown 1. And for the shares side of it, we have Mr. Alan Young, Mr. Mark Potter from Baker Young. Round of applause for the shares. And of course, from the property side, we have representing the Real Estate Institute of South Australia and the real estate industry, Emma Slape. Hello, Emma.
How are you, Anthony?
Yeah, and Greg Troughton. Round of applause for the property side. Okay, and to lead us off, we have the share guys and we have Alan leading us away. The format is as follows. We'll have 3 minutes from Alan, a rebuttal with Emma, go over to Mark and he will rebut, obviously further argument, and then Greg will conclude for the property side, and then we'll have Alan, if he's good enough, to give us another 30 seconds to a minute maximum.
I'll be there.
The deal is that we have the bell just before the 1 minute before the close, and if you go too long, guys, we have the gong. Now, also, I'd like the audience to take into consideration if there's 2 gongs, we need to lose some points. So let's get underway, and that's a new rule because we make the rules up as we go. But this is a very serious event. And by the way, for those of you that are listening and voting, we do have a double magnum of Batunga Hill Shiraz Viognier, which will be drawn out of a hat as the winner, and we'll send that to you if you are the winner. And we also have the Perpetual Showdown Trophy, and this is Showdown 1, so it'll be quite an honour to have the name on that first up. And of course we have the one that you take home to keep. So let's get the show on the road. Over to the share side to get things underway.
Thank you, Anthony. Look, I've got, ladies and gentlemen, less time than it takes to boil an egg, so we're going to have to move through this pretty fast. But our opponents here today will ask you to believe that property is better than shares. And property isn't better than shares. Property is good, but it's not better than shares, it's just different. And that's our position today. So I want to thank Anthony for having us here today on TOOP TV, in TOOP World, surrounded by TOOP people and lots of other property people. He's already cut me back by 30 seconds in the debate, introduced a number of new rules. Some people said to me, well, this could be a setup, Al. I don't know whether you'd want to come down and do this debate. But I said, no, Anthony's a fair man, and in TOOP land, he'll look after us. So thank you very much, Anthony. We're here really because if we weren't, you'd only hear one side of the story. So we want you to hear what a fabulous opportunity investing in shares can be. And that's why we've come. And in the end, it's only you, the viewers, that will decide whose argument wins at the end of the day. Now, last time Anthony and I were together at a debate like this, Anthony represented property and I represented shares. On this occasion, he's chosen not to debate, which I think is a very good decision. And the reason he's done that is because he knows full well that property is good, but so are shares. And of course, he's a man who has some experience of shares. This is a copy of Anthony Portfolio's own share portfolio. You'll notice the young Anthony Toop here because he started quite young. So, ladies and gentlemen, he knows that property is not better than shares, it's simply different. Our opposition today must prove to you that property is better than shares. If we can prove to you that property is not better than shares but simply different, then you need to vote for us. So let me say it again. If you believe property is not better than shares but simply different, you must vote for us. At the end of the day, you're going to hear a lot of different arguments and you may not be decided at all. If you're undecided at all, then you have to vote for us. My colleague Mark Potter here today will provide you with all the facts that you need to know to rebut the opposition's position that property is better than shares. I want to leave you with only one set of figures, and no, sorry, these are the property glasses because those figures are so small you need that extra magnification. In fact, I won't need glasses at all for shares. The fact of the matter is that shares by the world's best measurer, the Russell Group, an international group of actuaries, have outperformed property by a factor of 2 over the last 10 and 20-year period. Shares performing at 13.5% per annum over a 10-year period and 12.5% over a 20-year period. However, having said that, investment markets have their cycles, their ups and their downs, and the truth is you can't have all your eggs in the one basket. You've got to have something of each of those 2 investments. Also remember that if housing does well, so do shares, because most of the companies that are involved in housing are listed on the stock exchange. Thank you very much.
Well done, Alan. Round of applause.
Well, Alan's invited us to think how shares are different, but I'm here just to win the argument, fair and square, property's better. Let's start with housing as a basic need. No matter what changes in the world, everyone is still going to need a house. Whether you rent or buy, the demand is always going to be there. It's not dependent on the shareholders, it's not dependent on commodity prices. Everyone needs a house. Governments recognise the importance of housing as a foundation for wealth and foundation for independence. The governments offer a first homeowner grant for that very reason. I just can't see them offering a first stock market purchase grant in the next 6 to 12 months. But perhaps it could have been in the Henry Review. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Housing is reliable. We know where it is. We can see the risks aren't there like they are with shares. We don't see people buy houses and them fall down the next day. God knows we opened the paper today and whoa, the stock market did not have a good day. So we have to admit, right here today, we're back. We've got the shares market on the back foot straight away. Now we've heard a few figures about a few studies. I've done a bit of research myself and Taylor's parent have shown, but for the past 20 years, after tax, we've got a 9.3 to 11.4% return on investment in property. Only 6.1 to 8.1 for shares. So we've got some pretty solid research behind us as well. We want to talk about performance. Let's look at our own Adelaide market. 1985, property prices, median price 72,000. Today we're at 370,000. Even during the recession, the toughest times that South Australia's ever had, we didn't see prices go backwards. We haven't seen them go backwards through this GFC either. So we've just got that reliability and stability of bricks and mortar. For an investor, that is critical. Buying housing gives you a foundation, you can borrow against it and you can increase your wealth. Do banks let you borrow against shares? Not so much, and particularly not so much these days. So even the banks know that properties are more stable than shares. Now when we look at future demand, let's take the Adelaide market. We've got extensive research showing that over the next 30 years, 258,000 extra houses will be built in Adelaide to cater for population, and the Urban Development Institute is still saying that's probably still not enough. We're talking about supply and demand here, guys, and housing is something that's always going to be in demand. As an investor, we want to know, we want some security. If you're renting your house, you know what you're going to get per week. You're not going to be greeted with your returns in the morning's paper. You're going to get your rent roll statement in the post every month and you're going to know that money's there in the bank. It gives you that reliability that is very, very important. Now we've heard some arguments about why it's different. I think it's just simply better. And we've got the statistics here to prove it, ladies and gentlemen. So I need people voting with their feet, with their hands in the button to tell us that property's better, because I know there's so many South Australians and Australians out there who are benefiting from starting with their first home, building on that equity and getting right into the market as a great investor. So guys, hit the button and show us your vote, because we know that property's better than shares.
Wow.
And no gong for me, no gong for me.
Yeah. No, there was no gong for Emma. Now remember folks, that you do need to vote. There is the double magnum of Batunga Hill, top of the range wine there ready for one of you that do vote.
Do we get one of those, Anthony?
Oh, well, we'll see. You never know. If you're good, if you win. So